So I'm a terrible liar. I mean, I'm trash at games that require you to lie, like poker or Among Us or something like that. I lose every single time. I don't know what it is. I think that lying is funny, and so when I do, I can't stop laughing, and I laugh when I'm nervous, so it just kind of like feeds off of itself. But there was one good time that I pulled off this like really good lie, and it was to prank my mom. So hi mom, if you're watching this, which I know you probably are. I told her that I upgraded her computer, like I did a software update, and so it was voice activated, and so she sat at the computer just going, "Computer, activate! Computer, activate!" It was incredible. Now, we're not talking about lying today, we're actually talking about the opposite. We're talking about truth. Particularly, we're going to be looking at something found in John chapter 18. Now, Easter is next week. Today is Palm Sunday, but Easter is next week, and so we're going to talk about what happened right before that, and that is Jesus's conversation with Pilate, not Pilates, but Pontius Pilate. Now, as always, before we get into the story, let's try to understand some context. Pilate is the Roman ruler of Judea. Judea is this little area, it includes Jerusalem, where Jesus was arrested before Easter. Pilate was basically the governor of that area. He was set up by Rome to kind of oversee everything happening in that area. So when Jesus gets arrested by the Jewish leaders, they take Jesus to Pilate because Pilate has a real power to do something. The Jewish leaders wanted Jesus killed, but they couldn't do it on their own because they didn't have like the political power to do so, and so they brought him to Pilate. This is where things get interesting. So in John chapter 18, Pilate has this little back and forth with Jesus, where Jesus gets brought to him as a prisoner, and Pilate's trying to figure out what to do with him. The Jewish leaders say, hey, this guy has to be put to death, he's guilty, and Pilate tries to figure out what's going on. In the course of that conversation, Jesus says, everyone on the side of truth listens to me, which is just like, dang, that's cool. Pilate returns with, what is truth? Ooh. Wow, fire. I think if I'm honest, I've asked that question a lot in my life, and probably more than ever in this last year. I mean, with claims of fake news, conspiracy theories, deep fakes being a thing that exists now, and misinformation being spread more than ever, how can we really know what the truth is? Is truth flexible and changes with the time and the culture and the people who interpret it? Or is truth a universal, never-changing, foundational thing that is static no matter what culture or people say? Here's the cool thing about that interaction. Pilate asked, what is truth? But if you read John, the earlier chapters in John, if you read it as one story, Jesus talks a lot about truth, saying things like, I am the way, the truth, and the light, and you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. And so if you were reading through John's story of Jesus' life like that, like as it were a story of Jesus' life, you'd get to this point and realize that if Pilate had just taken a little more time to get to know Jesus, he wouldn't have had to ask that question. See, for you and me, as followers of Jesus, we'll be confronted with this question a lot. What is truth? And deep foundational truths of our lives are important to figure out, and they can be found in Jesus. Foundational truths like our outlook in life, our worldview, being one of compassion rather than hoarding or condemnation. I mean, that's in like John 3:17. Or how we try to figure out what we can share, and the truth is that it is better to give than to receive. That the truth is we have to look for what we can share rather than what we can hoard for ourselves. We as followers of Jesus base the truths of our lives on who Jesus is. See, I know that we talk a lot about like learning who Jesus is and reading our Bibles, and that's because like it's so important to learn about who Jesus is, because when we do that, we learn about the truth that we build our life upon. If we think that Jesus is the truth and the life as he says he is, if we trust Jesus at his word, we can return to the truth of who Jesus is no matter what is going on in our life. And as we go through life, we'll for sure be confronted with questions like this, which is a good thing. Asking deep, challenging questions, if we let them, can drive us deeper into understanding truth, and in doing so, understanding Jesus. Did my voice just crack? Embarrassing. As Jesus and Pilate continue the conversation, Pilate ends up unsure on what to do. The people are saying, hey, Jesus should be put to death, but Pilate's like, he didn't even really do anything wrong. Pilate, in his unsuredness, ends up letting other people make the decision for him. And if we're unsure what truth is, it can lead to us letting others choose things for us, which can cause us to make decisions that we regret. Knowing the truth and allowing the truth of Jesus to guide your life, especially when faced with big decisions, helps us to follow Jesus in a way that we're going to be able to look back and be proud of. Now, hey, with Easter coming up, as we mentioned, next week, there's not going to be a live video. We encourage you to watch main service with your family. It's going to be a really great time, and it's going to be really good. So you can head over to Metro's YouTube, Metro's Facebook, our website, to watch it there. If you haven't heard, Alive is moving to twice a month. Let's go! And starting next month, actually. So the next one is going to be April 9th. We are starting at 6 p.m. rather than 7. Now, since we're moving to more in-person, we're going to be focusing on those. So we're not going to be doing Alive Online moving forward. Our last Alive Online is going to be this Wednesday, March 31st. It's going to be awesome. You don't want to miss out. We're going to go crazy. So with in-person, we're still going to be doing videos just every other week in the weeks that we're not meeting together. So we'll still be here on YouTube. Hit that like and subscribe, and fam. All right. See you later. Happy Easter.